If not, just put play together on the party. No, I can't. Sorry about that, guys. My game decided to crash as soon as we loaded into the qualifying session. Magnificent game that this is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's all good.
Right. Nice.
Oh, it's... you know what it's done? It's literally wiped everything. I've got to create my profile again and things. What the hell? That was weird.
What?
I had to like go through the whole adjusting the brightness of the screen and the screen size and everything like that again. That was really weird. Right, there we go, we're back.
We have some nice shots here from the track, from Tom Killer through Sector 2. Everyone, I think, will probably have to put... is the stream up again?
Yeah, stream's going again.
Okay. So we have Joruru starting the lap first. And I think these guys are going to have to put quite a bit of fuel in the tank so they can do a couple of laps here to get used to the track. I'm not sure if everyone's going to get a second run in, as we're going to see lap times very close to the 2-minute mark. So people are going to have to make it count here on about 2 or 3 laps in this session. So Joruru starting his lap and the 2 Ferraris coming out of the last corner as well. So we're going to keep an eye out on them too. With Greenwich Beer and Calais Quist on the last sector as well, very close to each other. So I think most people are on the sector 1s and 3 right now. So it's very interesting to see, especially the 2 Ferraris, where they're going to find some clean air. You can see Alex Killer right behind a Warlock. He may be trying to get a bit of slipstream, but dirty air in the wet, it's not really affecting you, to be honest. How's it called? Relatively to the dry, as you are going way quicker on the dry, as Alex Killer puts it in the wall on the exit of turn 3 there. You can see just a little king there spat his car into the wall, and he's spinning everywhere there into turn 4 as well. He might be using a dry setup. I'm not sure what the weather forecast is for the race, but we're already having some troubles here for the Ferraris. I have Nicolo right behind another car. Not sure if that's on his outlaw. I think that might be a Mercedes. So Andrew, I think, yeah, we'll have a Red Bull there. They're all struggling here, and I cannot lie, it is pretty treacherous conditions out here, so people aren't going to struggle on their first lap. You can see Hasnan there going very wide on the very tricky corner on the dry itself, let alone the wet. So Hasnan making his way through the sector 3 section. Let's see now what the first lap is going to be. I believe it's still going to be Joruru, yeah, setting the benchmark. It's going to be a 1 minute 48.257. We have yellow flags in sector 3. Let's see what that is for. That is Alex Killer. So another spin for Alex Killer. This time he actually has to stop on track and let everyone through. So not a great start to this qualifying session for Alex Killer. Let's see Warlock, his teammate, across the line. Is he going to go on provisional pole? No, he's not. 48.669. So
this is brilliant. I have no lap time delta coming up, and everybody who crosses the line, their tyres change from wets to a white circle with an exclamation mark in it.
Oh wow, that's lovely.
This is perfect. I love this.
So, well, I guess I'm gonna have to say the lap times here. It's currently we have Tom Killer on pole with a 47.3, a very nice lap from the McLaren. Second place is Calais Quist with Zeta Mercedes only in third, but only 1.5 tenths off Tom Killer. So top 3 very close to each other. Then we have a half a second gap as we have a massive frame rate drop here. Spectating Greenwich Beer 48.0 for him. So off the pace. Andrew has not set a lap and is out of the session, and then you can see Alex Killer again on the grass.
Andrew's car is just teleported onto the track as well.
Who?
Andrew's car teleported back on track, even though it's got 3 wheels on it. It's just sat in the middle of the track.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, how did he move from the barrier? But Alex Killer grid penalty for him. The session is going absolutely horrific for the Ferrari driver.
I don't know who is made host now that I've disconnected. That's a good point. Who did it make host?
I'm not sure, but we're not seeing too much lag, just some some frame drops, as we always see in this game, no matter the host. Tom Killer has spun it into the sector 3, so that corner is proving very, very challenging for the drivers. Andrew is apologizing to Alex Killer, so Andrew's fault there, from what I can imagine. 47-1 by Caleb Christ, goes on pole by almost 0.3 of a second, so Caleb Christ on the pace again. Sector 2, we have yellow flags there. That is going to be for the other McLaren of Maledictis. He just hit an invisible barrier there on the middle of the grass, but he's back on track.
This is going brilliantly.
Some problems for Maledictis there. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of questions, but he's currently in P9, 51.9, so a lot of people having to improve their lap times to go anywhere near that top 3. Nicola with a 49.1 goes P7, so the top 10, top 11 have kind of set a lap. Alex Killer with a 2 minutes 13, so that must have been a spinning lap. And Andrew obviously retirement very early on, so he's going to be starting last. Let's see who's going to be starting outside the top 10, and actually I want to see what the weather forecast is for the race. So currently Caleb Quest still on pole. You can see these guys have not pitted yet, and there's only 4 minutes to go in the session. There's the Ferrari off to the gravel there as Caleb Quest goes past. That's Warlock Mania in the third to last corner. I'm just quickly going to turn off my notifications. So we're back. You can see there Warlock, gravel on his tyres. I assume he's going to be coming back to the pits this lap. In fact, ZR Mercedes is into P2 now, only 70 thousandths off Caleb Christo. Very good lap from him as well. We have more yellow flags there, and that is for nobody. Grangebeer back in the pits. Warlock actually goes for another lap, so he's not going to have time to go back in the pits, change his tyres and go for another one. So Warlock opts for the worn wet tyres to do another lap there with 3 minutes to go. Caleb Christ and all the top 3 are back in the pits, with Tom Killer now out on the track on his out lap. So Grangebeer, Giroux, Nicolo, Maledictis and the one Ferrari of Alex Killer in the pits, with Caleb Christ and Zeta. Mercedes actually going to be very tight on time to make it. He's just coming to his pit box, but yeah, Warlock, you can see they're struggling on turn 6, I believe that is. On the second sector, double right-hander now, not too bad through there. Currently Warlock sitting in P4, 7/10 of the leader Caleb Christ, with just over 2 minutes to go in the session. Warlock might be having another chance here if he crosses the line in time, which I don't think he is. Let's check at the lap data. Not sure what the sector times are going to be looking like, but Caleb Christ as well, still in the pits. He's got 10 seconds to go out, and there he goes. He's out on his out lap. Away is ZR Mercedes, under 2 minutes now. He's only got about 5 seconds to leave the pit lane. He's just done it, and this is going to be very tight on time for him. He's just exiting the pit box, and so is Grangebeer. So especially for Grangebeer, it's going to be very tight. Well, Caleb Christ is going to have definitely another chance, so very crucial here for Caleb Christ if he can snatch pole. Grangebeer is currently outside the top 5, with Nicola retiring only in P8. Has he crashed with anyone? I don't think he's in the pit lane, so seems like he doesn't want to improve his position.
Interestingly, Nicola is the only person who's got a lap time showing up for me on my screen.
Nicola?
Yep, 49.120.
That's interesting. Warlock's currently 2.5 tenths up on his personal best. Remember, only 7 tenths behind Caleb Christ, so this could be a pole position lap from Warlock Mania through turns 6 and 7. very stable through there compared to the last lap, but still very little grip on these worn tyres. I'm sure he's done more than 4 or 5 laps here on these tyres. Well, Chris Zeta Mercedes are going to be on very fresh ones. I do want to keep an eye out on Grenadier because it's going to be extremely tight on time to make another lap. And personally, I don't think he's going to make it, or he's just going to be very, very close. But we'll see. Currently on the second to last corner is Grenadier with half a minute to go. So I'm going to keep an eye out on Warlock heading to the third to last corner. You can see big left there. It's easily flat on the dry. But drivers have to be so cautious, especially through this corner. And on the traction zone, there's a auto spin curve on the outside. Warlock manages it very nicely. Now heading to the last corner, this is looking very nice for Warlock Mania. He's going to go around the last corner. Warlock, is this going to be pole? It's looking very good. Across the line. And I think, yeah, no, it's not by 33 thousandths, but let alone Tom Killer, 46.810 by the McLaren driver, goes on pole position by almost 3/10 there. Warlock then in the second row of the grid so far. Very nice lap on the end of the session on warm tyres, but let's keep an eye out on the Toro Rosso Calicrest. He's got a lot of time to improve here on the fresh set of wets. He's got 3/10 to find on this lap, so let's see. Second sector, is he up on his time, and if yes, by how much across the second sector split? We don't actually know because this game is absolutely awesome. It's showing us the first sector time, so we're gonna see what Zeta Mercedes is doing. Grenadier did actually have enough time. Yeah, Zeta Mercedes losing the back end there on the exit of that hairpin. Calicrest meanwhile on the second to last corner, so 3 people to worry about here. Calicrest, Mercedes and Grenadier all on their laps, and Hasning as well. Let's not forget about Hasning. So the 2 Toro Rossos on the lap. Calicrest on the last corner. Is he going to snatch pole? This is looking like a very nice lap as well. So around the final corner and across the line, Calicrest is going to go pole by over 9/10 there. 7/10, sorry. So Calicrest on pole provisionally. Let's see what Zeta Mercedes can do across the line. It's not going to be pole. It's not an improvement. And Zeta Mercedes is only going to start in P4. P5 now as Grenadier I think went P2 or P3 there. So hectic last few seconds there for the Malaysian Grand Prix qualifying. Grenadier actually went P3 and Alice Killer picks up the 5 position grid penalty. So he's going to be starting 11th alongside Andrew on the last row of the grid. So results from qualifying: Calicrest on the Toro Rosso gets pole by over 6/10 from Tom Killer. McLaren in P2, Grenadier, very good performance by him as well in P3, Warlock in P4, Mercedes in P5, Alice Killer P6 gets a 5th place grid penalty, so he's going to be starting in P11.
We need to try and invite Andrew because he can't rejoin the lobby. Because the host changed, didn't it? So because the host changed, all the invites are completely pointless.
So it's nice and shiny here in Malaysia in contrast to the wet qualifying. People are going to have to mix up their setups now for the dry race. And it's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously we know Calicrest was probably running a wet setup, I would imagine, getting pole by 6/10. We know he's very good on the wet and in treacherous conditions, but yeah, very good lap from Calicrest. Saw him in pole position by well over half a second. Tom Killer in P2 with Zeta Mercedes very close to him as well. So let's check everyone's tyres now as they start the formation lap. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 people, including Calicrest, starting on the soft. So Calicrest, Warlock Mania, Zeta Mercedes and Mitchell Gamer are risking it here in Malaysia, as they are going to be starting on the middle compound tyre, with Maledictus the only one starting on medium, so Maledictus loses front wing and has to pit. He's gonna have to opt for the soft or the super soft tyre, so these guys have to keep it clean at the start, whereas Tom Killer, Greenwich Beer, Hasnain, Joruru, Nicolo and last place Alex Killer are going to be starting on the super soft tyres. They're going to have to make their way through the field very quickly. So Caliquet starting on softs and the two drivers behind him starting on the quickest super soft tyres. So it's going to be very interesting at the start, especially on the first lap, to see who's going to take the lead after the first corner. If it's going to be Tom Killer or Greenwich Beer, they are going to have to pull away from Caliquest, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to opt for the one stop and who for the two stop, and who's going to get caught up in the incidents of lap 1. Let's see, this is very interesting. Grimsby starting in P3 with Caliquest in P1. These two are not too far away from each other on the top of the standings. Caliquest can snatch at least 7 more points if he wins today's race to Grimsby, with Warlock starting right behind Grimsby as well. So interesting starting grid there with Tom Killer right behind Caliquest. This looks like a real F1 race, like people weaving. Actually no, I don't feel like I'm actually seeing an F1 race here. Pretty hype, not gonna lie. Don't know why. What do you think, Johnny? Make your 3 predictions.
Oh god, I don't know, we've seen Mercedes always loves a good quick race, and he's always very quick on race pace, so I reckon he's put on a dry setup for the race, so he could always be a threat for the win. Calic Rist, of course, on pole position. I think it's his 3rd of the season.
Yeah, so let's see how it all goes. We have 3, 4 and now 5 red lights for the Malaysian Grand Prix. And we are now underway with Caliquest getting off the line. Tom Killer right behind him. You can see there Tom Killer actually takes the lead of the race heading into turn 1. Caliquest though having the inside lines. Grimsby going to lunge it up the inside. No, he's not. I think Caliquest going to retain the lead after turn 2. Actually not. Tom Killer down the inside of Caliquest. So the Toro Rosso down to P2. Further down we have Warlock up into P4, Mercedes down to P5, Joruru in P6, and Nicole in P7. We have Caliquest down the inside of Tom Killer into turn 4, and he retains the lead of the race after the sector 1. So Tom Killer down to P2, but these two are still side by side for the lead of the race. Amazing battle there, contact between the two of them, but Tom Killer is going to back out of this. Caliquest still in the lead of this race somehow. Tom Killer pushing him right on the edge on this first lap. So Tom Killer getting the lead but then losing it. Zeta Mercedes now makes his move on Warlock, and now Nicolo is going to go down the inside, but Warlock goes down the inside again on Zeta Mercedes, who gets pushed off wide and now attacked by Nicolo. But Nicolo has to get off the gas there as he was going to run to the grass. So P6 for Nicolo. The top 5 are looking like this: Caliquest, Tom Killer, Greenwich, Warlock and Mercedes. So no change at all, I don't think. Alex Killer up into P9 there, with Joruru going very wide and Hasnain having to avoid him there. And Alex Killer, so Alex Killer up into P8, Hasnain to P7. And the top 3 are separated by half a second. It is going to be interesting to see who's quicker
3
on
wide
the
into
straight
the
line
final
speed.
corner between Alex Killer, Joruru and Maledictus, I think, and 2 of them around. Maledictus and Joruru both
losing
round.
a heap of time. Yeah, Joruru actually didn't have any damage there, but let's quickly go to the top 2. Caliquest and Tom Killer so close to each other. I don't think.
Oh, sorry, Mercedes and Warlock swapping positions again. And Nicolo was getting involved as well.
Warlock had to defend from both Mercedes and Nicolo successfully to Nicolo, but Mercedes is going to have to get past it. So Warlock dropping down, although on the same compound as the Sauber driver. So you were right, Johnny. Probably Zeta Mercedes running a dry setup here, very quick from the start of this race. And if these top three keep on battling, Tom Killer very wide. Grimsby doesn't need a second invite. He goes up into P2, now right behind Caliquest. So we're going to see the top 2 battle it out for the win here. Grimsby on the super soft tyre. Caliquest needs to pull away on the soft. just to have a bit of gap between them. We can see Zeta Mercedes right on Tom Killer, 8 tenths between them. So if these three keep on battling, Zeta Mercedes is going to be right on them. And we're going to see a four-way battle. Warlock's in the wall. Warlock is out with Nicolo out of the session. So Warlock somehow finds himself on the gravel of turn 14, I think that is.
I don't know which corner.
So, wow.
Looks like a similar place to where Grosjean had his big accident in real life. Where he hit that drain cover.
Kill and Greenwich Beer side by side there. Mercedes gets the fastest lap of the race. Tom Killer's going to try and go around the outside of Greenwich Beer. He cannot make it stick there. Zeta Mercedes right behind these two. Chris pulling away to 1.3 seconds over Greenwich Beer, while these two are battling, allowing Zeta Mercedes only 3 tenths between him and Tom Killer. Look at him, he's so quick on the dry pace. Tom Killer very wide on the brakes. Wide on the brakes? Late on the brakes. Very wide on the corner. But Warlock, another disaster of a start here. Lap 2 spins off into the barrier. No damage, but that's the least he can get. He's now in P9 with 5 seconds between him and Maledictus. This is an absolute terrible race for him, and his chances of the championship are well over. He's going to be well outside the top, the 60-point gap now. And just 5 races to go. Highly unlikely he's going to be challenging Renibia and Calicrest. So these two are going to have to keep an eye out for, and these two are currently the top 2 in this race. So if we see a battle between them, it's going to be very crucial for the championship race. 7 points can mean absolutely everything towards the end of the championship. But currently, gaps are not going down from Zeta Mercedes Tom Killer. It's currently 7 tenths, so DRS now wide open for everyone in the top 4. Greenwich BS sets the quickest lap of the race, while Calicrest was about 3 or 4 tenths slower. So the soft tire is going to start, super soft actually, so he's going to start wearing out way quicker than the soft. So if Greenwich wants to get the lead of the race, which I'm sure he does, he will need to get past Calicrest while the super softs are quicker than the soft. So very simple here. Greenwich needs to keep on pushing, unless he's opting for the one stop. In case that happens, he will need to conserve his tires. Now, sure, Calicrest can opt for the medium tire and easily go to the end. So Greenwich Beer and the other super soft runners will have to conserve to go to the end on another one compound, soft or medium. So it's all to play for here. Different strategies. We have all compounds on the track here. Maledict is the only one on mediums, so very interesting there. I think he's got a bit of damage on his right end plate.
Possibly from the contact into that final corner. Yeah, he does have damage to the right end plate of his car. Possibly from the contact with Joruru into the final corner, where he was 3 wide with himself and Alice Killer as well.
Wow, Joruru called right up to Warlock Mania. So Warlock's catching Maledictus quite rapidly, but Joruru right on the back of Warlock, sorry. And I think he's going to go for a move here. Joruru 4P9 on Warlock Mania. Warlock covers the inside line. Joruru down the inside though. Is Warlock going to stick it around the outside? He tries to, but now he doesn't even have DRS, and Joruru is going to pull away on his way to P8 as Maledictus on the medium. So he's going to be vulnerable to Joruru's super soft tire, and Warlock's left last. So disaster for the Ferrari. The other Ferrari finds itself in P5 with Alice Killer 2.6 behind Zeta Mercedes, and look at that, the gaps are starting to be created, and Greenwich isn't actually catching Calicrest at all. 8 tenths between them. Small mistake there by Calicrest. The gap is going to be cut down to about 6 tenths now. So 1 or 2 more mistakes by Calicrest and Greenwich is going to be right on him. Greenwich obviously does have DRS. Warlock now gets past Joruru somehow, so Joruru must have made a mistake there on the second sector, and now Warlock right behind Maledictus. Maledictus is going to have to leave Warlock and Joruru go, because he just needs to go as far as he can. Battling on these tires not going to help at all. So Maledict is going to defend as much as he can. But Joruru and Warlock right on him. Don't know which movie we're going to see first here. The last three, and they're all on different compounds. So Maledictus, the first on the queue, not anymore, because Warlock gets the move done. Now Joruru is going to make it 3 wide. So Joruru down the entire, Warlock on the outside. Maledictus suddenly down to P10. Joruru up into P8, and Warlock in P9. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. Warlock outside is not going to make it stick. But Warlock with DRS, Maledictus with a flag there. Joruru with DRS as well. Is Warlock going to go down the inside here onto the first corner? No, he's not, way too far back. Joruru up into P8. Amazing overtake there by Joruru in Sepang. Zeta Mercedes, meanwhile, only 3 tenths between him and the McLaren of Tom Killer 150. While Greenwich Beer has got a 10th on the last lap. You can see he's ever so slightly getting closer and closer. Only 5 to 6 tenths now the gap. So 1.5 tenths between Tom Killer and Zeta Mercedes. Going to try and go down the inside, but kind of loses speed on the apex there and loses over half a second. So Zeta Mercedes, the soft tyre, is working a treat here on lap 6. I think the Superstock runners are going to be pitting around lap 8 or 9.
Yeah, probably around about there. I think considering they didn't qualify on those tyres, they should be able to go a little bit longer than you'd expect. But I think the latest super soft tyre runners we'll see will pit on about lap 10. That's the latest I think we'll see anybody pit that's on the supers.
Oh, Joruru is out of the session. Joruru has retired from the race. I believe it was with contact with the Warlock Mania. So 9 runners right now on the Grand Prix. That's probably my turn 14. And we're just going to call that turn 14.
The Grosjean corner.
Lost his front left tyre. Yeah, and it's actually a Haas, ironically.
I know.
I'm actually going to check what corner that is. I'm so curious. I completely randomly said turn 14. I don't actually know what corner that is.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, mate. I haven't actually got a map of the track. Whoa, Zeta Mercedes side by side with Tom Killer. Coming through turn 7 and 8.
Around the outside, did he? Or
no,
down
through the inside of turn 7 and 8.
Wow. One time I actually look away from the screen, Mercedes goes for a move, so Mercedes.
I think it's turns 12 and 13, by the way, those two corners you're on about.
Yeah, it's turn 13, just check. We're pretty close. Tom Kelly, you can see struggling on that king, losing the back end ever so slightly. And I think he's going to be pitting very soon. As well as Greenwich Beer, who's losing time to the soft run of Calais Crest. So the tyre waste kicking in now, and we are going to see the first round of pit stops happening very soon. Everyone's staying out for the time being though, so they want to get the maximum out of their tyres to possibly go on a soft compound for the second stint and try to make it to the end. Tom Killer though, right on the back of Zeta Mercedes. Mitchell and Warlock are actually battling, and Warlock down the inside. Mitchell's going to get a better exit, so cut back by Mitchell. Walking great here, but I think Warlock has the DRS indeed, with Mitchell not having DRS. So Warlock up into P7 very easily there, down the inside on the last corner. With Tom Kill and Zeta Mercedes still 4.5 tenths between them. So very close. Mitchell picks up a 3-second time penalty immediately after getting overtaken by the Ferrari. Tom Killer there losing again pace to Zeta Mercedes on the second sector, which is more demanding for the tyres. Meanwhile, Mercedes catching Grimsby himself. Grimsby actually lost half a second on that last lap to Calais Crest. In my opinion, they both have to pit this lap to get some sort of undercut or something to Calais Crest and Zeta Mercedes respectively. Calais Crest hitting every apex, He's had a very nice race so far, only lap 8, so this is a long stint he has to make. No mistake so far by him. Retain the lead in
we got a
turn
pitter.
1 after
Very
a
nice bit.
small battle. Grangebeer down in the pits, and Tom Killer follows him with Alex Killer and Hasnain all in their pit. So all 4 super soft runners in the pit lane to change their tyre. Question is what tyre they're going to fit on.
Super soft again for Gronos bit. He fits super soft, but it says softs now.
Yeah, Tom Killer on the soft as well.
Oh, I'm having tyres glitch. Lovely.
Alex Killer on the softs. Hasnain is going to go on the softs. So everyone on softs.
Looks like they're going to go for a 2-stop then.
They come out in... they actually come out very close to Mitchell there. Grangebeer might be getting attacked by Mitchell Gamer. No, he's not, just about there. Oh, a bit of lag, which isn't great to see. Alex Killer rejoins in P8 with Hasnain in last in P9. Warlock still in P3 with the Mercedes and Caliquist retaining the 1-2. And I think they will have to do another good 10 laps here on the soft to go on the super soft tyre. And by the time they do so, I'm pretty sure Grangebeer and who was in P4? Tom Killer and Grangebeer are gonna have retained the 1-2. So very interesting strategy from the top 4. Top 2 on softs, 3rd and 4th on super softs. They have undercut it, and they're gonna be getting at least half a second per lap on the top 2. 4 seconds between the top 2, and the closest battle we go is Tom Killer and Mitchell Gamer. Tom Killer is easily going to get past Mitchell.
Oh yeah, round the outside by the looks of it. Mitchell pretty much lets him through by the looks of that.
Yeah.
No attempt at fighting at all.
Same story with Maledictus actually. Carbon copy. But Grangebeer right behind the Warlock. I don't think this is going to be as an easy battle. You see Red Bull and Ferrari, big championship rivals this season, and Warlock's hopes for the championship are getting lost.
The only comfort I think the Warlock has is by the looks of it he's going to 1-stop in this race. So the fact that he's already a pit stop ahead of some of the guys that started on super softs is probably positive news for him.
Yeah, Warlock's going to try, or going to have to try and stay ahead of Grangebeer. No matter what, he's going to have to defend his life here for P3. But you can see his tires are absolutely shredded. I don't think he's going to be able to stay ahead of Grangebeer for much longer. 3.7 between the top 2. So Zeta Mercedes ever so slightly, couple of tenths per lap is catching Caliquist. Grangebeer and Warlock very close to each other. Grangebeer is going to go down the inside. No, he's not. He's going to wait for the DRS. Let's see then. Good exit by Grangebeer. Not so good for Warlock when here. So the Ferrari is going to get attacked and possibly overtaken into the last corner there. Grangebeer down the inside. Now round the outside. Down the inside goes Grangebeer.
The direction changes.
Go there. Up into P3 goes Grangebeer. Warlock down to P4. But now he's going to be on the slipstream. Is Warlock without DRS. He's going to try and lunge it up the inside. No, he's not. No way. Warlock loses P3.
Hasnain's just got past Maledictus as well. And Alex Killer's just got past Mitchell.
Well, Zeta Mercedes actually lost half a second this lap to Caliquist. So confused as to where Grangebeer is going to go there into the last corner.
It was weaving all over the place just before the braking zone, wasn't he? First went to the inside, then the outside, then back to the inside again.
Yeah. Oh, probably scared by Warlock moving to the outside on the braking. Look at that! Warlock drifting through turn 7.
He's going to be under pressure from Tom Killer if he's not careful. He's going to be under pressure from his teammate if he's not careful, Warlock minute. Because Alex Killer's only about 5 seconds behind Tom Killer. He's got Tom Killer just behind him as well in the McLaren.
Yeah, he could let his teammate catch Tom Killer if he holds him up. But with that kind of tyre, I don't think he's going to have many options. Warlock losing the back end there. not great line through there, and I think Tom Killer is going to have a big chance into the last corner, just like Greenwich Beer. That Tom Killer breaks at least 20 meters later than Warlock. Great exit, opens the DRS, and I think this is going to be no bother for the McLaren of Tom Killer around the outside, and Warlock is going to let him through.
Is he? No, he's...
Is he?
Oh no, just got a good enough run through with DRS did Tom Killer to make the defending a little bit harder for him. And I think he knows how messed his tyres are, so he doesn't want to push it too hard. A little bit of lag there as well as we come down the pit straight.
Gap to Caliquist to Greenwich Beer, 22.2 seconds. Do you reckon if they pit now, Greenwich Beer is going to come out in the lead?
It's going to be close. I'm not going to put my money on it, but it's going to be very close. 26 seconds between Caliquist and Gronisbeer.
Oh yeah, 26. Sorry, that was Mercedes to Greenwich Beer.
22 is Mercedes. Greenwich Beer might come out in front of Mercedes, but I don't reckon I reckon Caliquist will come out just in front if they pitted now.
Gonna keep an eye out on the last few laps from both of them.
Yep. This is out. DNF in the pits.
Again. Third DNF in a row for him. So high 35s for Caliquist, low 35s last lap from Greenwich Beer.
Caliquist staying out. As is ZR Mercedes, both of them staying out on track.
Tom Killer on low 35s as well. We have yellow flags. That is indeed Maledictus. The exit of turn 2. So he's just rage quitted, I think. Not lost a tyre.
No, I saw him coming out of the pit lane when it said he retired. He was just coming out of the pit lane, so I think it's because he was a lap down. He didn't want to try and fight it. Oh, he said he had to go. Is what he's put in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Had to go emergency.
So every driver on the soft tyre. Hasnan very close to Mitchell there. I saw him on the mirrors of the Force India getting very close.
Massive back end kick out there on the exit of the final corner.
Indeed, these tyres are not going to be looking great, so gets past Mitchell very easily there. Mitchell does not put up a fight. He's now down to last place, which is only 8th.
Weird to think the last place is going to be gifting somebody 4 points.
2 Ferraris, very close to each other. Are we going to see another Ferrari duel in Malaysia?
Yeah, just 1.2 seconds between the pair of them. Warlock's really losing time quickly. He's about a second or two a lap slower than the guys in front of him. Because it was about 2 laps ago, he was about 5 seconds ahead of his teammate. It's now less than a second, or just over a second, sorry, as they come out of turn 7 and 8. Be interesting to see how long Warlock can hold on for, whether he's going to dive into the pits in the next couple of laps, or whether he'll just let his teammate through.
Caliquist crosses the line for another low 36, and another lap where he's been quicker than ZR Mercedes. The gap is still about 4 seconds. Most positions gained. Alex Killer starting last in 11th, now finds himself very close to P5, which is his teammate Warlock Mania. Are we going to see a nice battle? 3 tenths between them. Alex Killer is going to open the DRS. Warlock's tyres are looking way worse than his teammates. Alex Killer is going to pull to the outside and into the back straight. 2 Ferraris side by side. Alex Killer around the outside. Warlock has to back out and lets his teammate unleash the beast behind Tom Killer. He's going to have to catch him in order to get P4.
I think that was a wise decision from Warlock not to try and fight things with his teammates. His teammates on far fresher tyres. Warlock's really been struggling the last 4 or 5 laps or so. So I think that was very clever of him to just let him through, let him get some time on the cars in front, thinking about the team, not just himself.
Yeah, Warlock lets his teammates through. 9 seconds to Hasnan. So I think Warlock's going to be pitting in a couple of laps time. He's going to be losing a lot of time that you can see going very wide. So Warlock has to pit very soon. Question is Alex Killer going to be catching the top 3, essentially Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer? Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer about the same pace, low 35s, moving 5 to 6 tenths quicker than the top 2 by the name of ZR Mercedes and Caliquist. So So 24.2 between Greenwich Beer and Calaquist. It's going to be so interesting to see where they come out. No, we are definitely going to see a battle, I can guarantee you that. So we can see Calaquist's front left tyre not looking great. That's our Mercedes, much better condition on the front left from what I can see. But
Yeah,
he's not
you
getting
can't
any
see the
time on
wear.
Calaquist.
No, the gap's pretty much maintaining. Grown Ice Beer's catching up to the pair of them as well.
Yeah, let's
by
kill
about
it.
7-8 tenths a lap. Not as much as I thought he would, considering he's on very fresh tyres, Grown Ice Beer.
Fastest lap so far belongs to Alice Killer, followed very closely by Greenwich Beer and Tom.
So we've got the Belgians leading the way then on the fastest laps.
Yeah, quickest lap by Mitchell is 38.3. Well off the pace by Mitchell.
Almost saw Alice Killer losing it on the exit of turn 6. No, turn 7, so yeah, turn 6. Need to remember the corner numbers. That exit curve is lethal through that corner though.
Yeah,
leading pair staying out again.
Stable. Yeah, Calaquist out.
This leading pair look
So
like they're going to try and do a super soft one stop by the looks of it. Done over half the race on these tyres. If they feel confident enough in their tyre wear, then why not go for it? I didn't think it was possible.
Greenwich Beer is getting so much time on them. Tom Killer is going to be very close to Zeta Mercedes, and Greenwich Beer is going to be very close to the Toro Rosso of Calaquist. So, we're going to see a titanic battle here on the closing stages of the Malaysian GP. The top two in the championship, by the looks of it, are going to meet on track and battle it out for the win in Sepang. A very crucial race for the championship. After this, we only got 5 races to go. Every point matters on the championship for every position. And drivers are going to give it their all to try and score as many points as possible. You see then the gap. 23.1, extremely close. 22.8 now. In case Calaquist comes out ahead of Greenwich Beer, and it's pretty much game over for him, for Greenwich Beer. Calaquist stays out another lap, and I think Mercedes is going to follow him.
Yep, they both stay out again.
I think Tom Kill is definitely going to pass Mercedes, as he's just 2.8 behind Greenwich Beer. So Mercedes is going to move down to P4. Going to be very close with Alice Killer as well. So 5-way fight for the win here, possibly. Now, I don't think anyone's actually got any penalties. It's not
I haven't seen any pop up.
Nah.
There's not many corners you can cut around this track. Turn 4 you can definitely get a warning for.
No warning
this
for
one
the
coming
top
up
3.
now.
We've got 2 warnings on the same lap for Tom Killer and Alice Killer. Yeah, lap 2 and 3. Since then, Tom and Alice haven't got any warning, so it's looking good for them. No penalties on the top 5. Warlock, 1 warning. Hasnain, 1 warning, and Mitchell with 2 penalties. Oh, Alice Killer off to the grass in turn 6. I was about to say I saw someone in the grass there, and it's Alice Killer.
It's not the first time.
Troubles.
Not the first time he's made a mistake through that corner.
Indeed. Loses a heap of time to Tom Killer. His chances of getting a podium are gone.
It's not an easy corner, that one though, because of course if you run a little bit too wide, that exit curb will spin you off. Even if you're not on the throttle, if you hit that exit curb, because of how it's cambered, it is so bad and your back end will just go on you.
Yeah, it's not very easy to manage if you lose the back end on the first part. So Alice Killer, good for him though, he didn't actually spin the car. kind of corrected it on the grass, which is not very easy to do. Control the car on the grass. 2 seconds between Grimsby and Tom Killer, so Tom Killer steadily is actually gaining a couple of tenths each lap to the Red Bull, so it's going to be very close. And I think that's rain again. Like Singapore, we have rain on the last 10 laps of the race.
It is indeed.
This has spiced things up, and this means that Caliquist and Mercedes are going to get a free pit stop, and they're going to be over 15 seconds ahead of Grimsby and Tom Killer. So this kind of ruins the battle for the lead, as they're all going to have to pit for intermediates one more time.
But this is now making Caliquist and Mercedes' decision to stay out as long as they have on the soft tyres seem to be an absolute worldie call.
Yeah, indeed. They knew it from the start. The thing is now they're going to have to stay out for another 2 laps, I would say. So these tyres, 20 laps, is not going to be an easy task. Warlock's in the wall! Warlock's facing the wrong way. In turn 6, he's got a rear left puncture.
No!
And the Ferrari's facing the wall. Absolute tragedy. Heartbreaking for Warlock Mania. Puncture on the second sector. He's now moved to last place. Oh, it's all going downhill for Ferrari on the last couple of races. 1.7 now the gap between.
As into the pits comes out on Mercedes.
Mercedes into the pits.
Avoids it, so I think Mercedes going to make the early switch to intermediates by the looks of this.
Warlock is absolutely screwed here. He's got a puncture on the wet track on slick tyres, and the rear left one as well. Couldn't have been much worse for Warlock, could it? Mercedes in the pits then for
onto the intermediates. Very early switch. The only person so far to have made the switch to intermediates. Hasnain staying out. Mitchell looks like he might make the dive in. But it'd be interesting to see whether he's pitted a lap early or not. Mitchell now making the call to go into intermediates as well. And Warlock, of course, has no choice with his right rear puncture.
Guess what the gap is between Tom Killer and Grimsby. I said he's been catching him, and now it's almost under a minute. A minute?
A minute?
A second there by 2 of them. And he's losing a heap of time to Caliquist as well. 20.3 now the gap. Mitchell in the pits, exiting now. Warlock is spun it again on the last corner right before the pit lane entry. 1 second the gap between Tom Killer and Grimsby. Tom Killer seems way more comfortable on these wet conditions, and remember, some of these guys have had a wet setup for qualifying. From what I can remember, at least Caliquist did have one. Caliquist in the pits then for intermediate tyres. Worldy of a strategy here. Laps Warlock as well in the meantime. The gap has increased between Tom Killer and Grimsby as they both come in the pits. Grimsby sliding almost into the grass there on the entry. So everyone's going to be coming into the pits. Alice Killer. And now let's see where Mercedes comes out in all of this. Grip seems to be there, and he seems to be very good indeed. Zeta Mercedes across the line. He's up into P4, up into P3, and up into P2. As expected, Zeta Mercedes very comfortably in P2. Everyone back in the pits then. Now I don't think the order is going to change all too much. A 5 second stop and go for Ace Hasnain, speeding in the pit lane.
Didn't get the car slowed down enough, of course, with running no ABS in these conditions. The moment you tap those brakes coming into the pits, you will lock up. I sort of assume that's what's happened there with him. He's going to rejoin in front of Mitchell, so he's going to stay in 6th.
So as it stands right now, Caliquist is on to win his 3rd race of the season. with Zeta Mercedes in P2. So he's had a top 2 finish. If he finishes second this race or first, he's had a top 2 finish on the last 3 races. You have more yellow flags, and that's for more Warlock Minier crashing. I don't know what is going on through Warlock's head right now. I don't think we're going to see any more battles right now.
The smallest gap on track is 2.3 seconds. We have yellows in sector 3.
Warlock.
It is Warlock, yep. Letting people through.
Well, he did spin. He was spinning.
No, I just saw him wide at the exit of the final corner. I didn't see him spin or anything.
Yeah, I have no idea. His car doesn't seem... I mean, yeah, he's going to be tired out. Probably. There's 4 points on the table.
I don't see the point in retiring. You might as well just keep going. Just get the car to the finish. Or at least complete 90% of the race so he can classify himself.
Because I just don't see his car slowing down. He might have a problem with his pad, possibly.
Maybe.
He's slowing down fine.
I'm not quite sure what's going on with him.
From the telemetry, he's looking like he's going full brake, but he's definitely having to face some troubles, deal with it. Closest gap we got is 2.5 seconds between Tom Killer and Grunge Beer.
That gap is increasing,
though.
though.
To be a great race without the rain. Would have been very close between Grunge Beer and Cali Crest. And that's why, for once, the rain is not spicing things up. If only we had safety car. We have such an interesting season without a safety car. Imagine if there was one.
Oh, it'd be so much closer. If only Codemasters made a game where the safety car wasn't broken. Like it was at the start of this game. When the game first came out, everything was working pretty well.
Look at that, Warlock struggling in every single corner. I don't know what's going on with his car. He's now down on fuel. This race has been an absolute disaster for him. Oh boy!
But if I can set to one, that'll be for Warlock again, I'd assume.
Yep.
Mitchell's about to come across and lap him, so Warlock's about to get lapped by everybody in the field. As again, Warlock goes straight on through turn 4. No idea what's going on with him. It almost seems as though his car doesn't want to turn under brakes. Yeah, it's almost as though he doesn't want to turn under braking, which seems very, very strange to me. There's no idea what's going on. But he is now a lap behind everybody. Warlock went it. Big lock up there into turn 7 and 8, so I think that's the problem he's having. She's locking up everywhere and it's forcing him straight on.
What temp downshifting there?
This all seems very, very strange.
Oh my god. Sick! This is the best action. Oh no, Warlock! The only action we had on track.
Has he just put it in the wall? Yeah, he has.
No, he hasn't. He just retired.
He just gave up. Maybe he wanted to try and make sure he'd complete... Oh, he hasn't even completed 90% race distance, so he's probably not going to be classified.
I'll have yellow flag. Oh, that's for Warlock. Even not in the race, he's creating yellow flag here in Sector 3. And this has left us with no action at all.
Nothing to look at, yeah.
Great. Oh my god, Rain. Why'd you have to come? Yeah, actually would have been
It's the same
so
in Singapore. It was the same in Singapore. The Singapore race was very, very good until the rain hit.
I know. Who would have thought?
Especially in Singapore, like last week. A track where overtaking is very difficult. The rain just ended up completely flattening it. Ruining the occasion. And that gap, that small gap that we had is increasing lap by lap between Grown Beer and Tom Killer for 3rd and 4th. Apparently Warlock had a brake failure. Apparently Warlock says he had a brake failure.
Told you.
That's extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen that in an online lobby. I don't think I've ever encountered it in career mode either. Seems very strange. It's quite fun watching him go straight on through every single corner though. Must admit. Even though it's not nice to laugh at your fellow colleagues, that was kind of entertaining.
It was the only action we had on track.
Yeah, we got no battles going on for position or anything anywhere, so...
Stewards have done their workout today, waving yellow flag.
The marshals, yeah. And so the flag waving marshals are normally paid, but the other marshals are often voluntary. Does seem like it has stopped raining. That is a good point. It has stopped raining. I don't reckon it's going to be worth pitting for dries though, as there is only what 3 laps to go. Well, 4 if you include this one.
It could be close. 4 laps is not little. It is about 6 minutes here, so the rain's already stopped, so we'll probably be dry in about a couple minutes time. So these guys are gonna have to do 2.5 laps on intermediates on a dry track. Maybe someone will gamble it. I don't know. I've no idea what's gonna happen next.
The only person that could really afford to gamble it are people like Hasnain or Mitchell that are miles away from anybody else, just to see if the lap times are faster. They want to try and go for a fastest lap or something, but then the track won't be dry enough for them to get that.
Maybe, yeah, we're not going to have any more positions gained. I mean, the gaps will not be that big. So I don't think anyone really has anything to win by gambling. You can see though Mitchell, as we say that, comes into the pits. So I would assume this is for a dry set. And I think, yeah, if
Mitchell just put in the chat, why not? So he's going to take the risk and go on to super soft tyres.
Yeah, I think super soft tyre is a mistake though.
Whoa, Calyx from very wide through the final corner. Looks like the grip is really going on those intermediate tyres. This could be close between Mitchell and Calyx.
Gamble at least. Yeah, I don't know if people know, but the grip is usually quicker on hard tyres.
Yeah, so the mediums would have probably been the best bet in terms of getting the most grip out of the dry track. Mitchell letting Calyx race the race leader through.
Yeah, it's not dry enough. Yeah, I don't think for any compound, to be honest. That is good. He did the right choice to gamble. As long as he doesn't put it in the wall and loses the 6 points he already has.
Yeah, he's just going to keep it out of the barriers and he'll still keep hold of the position he had. He was 25 seconds behind the next car in front of him, which was Hasname. So there was nothing to lose really as far as Mitchell's concerned.
Well, he's completed 90% of the race, hasn't he? So
yeah, so he technically, if he did put it in the barriers, he would be classified.
Yeah, nice.
As that 26 is the start of that period, or that 25 technically. As he lets Mercedes through as well. Whoa, sideways through turn 14 for Calic Rist. Completely sideways. I mean, that's not a difficult corner even in the dry, but on the intermediates on a drying track, I can imagine it's a nightmare. Calic Rist is diving into the pits at the end of that 26.
Calic Rist into the pits? Oh,
Mercedes staying out. Calic Rist is going
to spice things up.
Risking it for a chocolate biscuit to go onto the super soft tyres, I reckon. Track does look like it's dried out quite a lot.
It does, but no one else is going to come in the pits because they now have a chance to get a position. Calic Rist on the super soft tyre. Greenwich and Tom Killer staying out. Mercedes in the lead by over 10 seconds, what will be. Over 15 seconds now. This Calic Rist has lost P2 by Greenwich, and the track is so wet in sector 1. Calic Rist might have been there. DRS has been enabled. Calic Rist 1 second between him and Greenwich. Wow.
He's got a lap and a half to try and get this back. He's got a lap and a half to try and get the second place back.
From the leader. He certainly just lost the win. He's not going to get 17 seconds in one lap. I don't know why he's pitted. I actually have no idea, but I think he's certainly going to...
He's definitely going to get second off Grown Beer. Yeah, here we go. He's going to swoop up his inside, just coming up here. Whoa, Grown Beer's lost the back end. There's damage. Calic Rist has damage.
Is there damage? Calic Rist has got damage. Oh god, Greenwich sliding in front of him. Greenwich drifting in front of Calic Rist's car. Calic Rist going to try and go down the inside there. Greenwich is going to defend like no tomorrow. Greenwich stays in P2. How much longer can this be the order? Calic Rist down the inside. Greenwich switchbacks on lap on turn 11. Greenwich up into P2 again somehow. Calic Rist has got so much more grip, but he cannot get past Greenwich. Now down the inside again. Greenwich is going to try and go for the switchback. He's
going to get it this time.
Calic Rist smartly doesn't let Greenwich get a switchback, but now he's going to have to get a 20-second gap to ZR Mercedes. It seems if he does that, it'll be absolutely mental. 19 seconds he has to cover. He's getting over half a second every corner.
I don't think it's happening in one. It's not happening in one lap. Maybe if he had two, it's possible, but not in one lap.
It's not going to happen on raw pace. Well, ZR Mercedes could always make a mistake here.
He's not the kind of driver to make a mistake, though. It'd be very uncharacteristic of ZR Mercedes if he did make a big mistake, but he does have... Oh, I was going to say he does have a 4-seater of Mitchell behind him, but Mitchell's just lost it on the curb of turn 5.
Oh, Mercedes, big slide out of turn 7. This is not over, in my opinion. ZR Mercedes can easily make a mistake. Calic Rist is going to be way quicker every corner. Oh, he's only like 3 corners behind him. This is going to be a tense finish. Out of the hairpin. Let's see now the traction ZR Mercedes gets. It's not too bad actually. 15 seconds between the two of them. Calic Rist is approaching the hairpin. As ZR Mercedes into turn 11 now. He has to watch out for the curbs. He doesn't have enough fuel either. 13 seconds between the two of them. Into the second to last corner, ZR Mercedes goes. This could be an absolutely amazing victory for ZR Mercedes. 3 times in a row.
Mitchell's going to get involved. Mitchell and Mercedes side by side coming down the back straight, coming into the final corner. Mitchell does brake early. Very wisely done. Doesn't want to cost Mercedes a chance at the win. And ZR Mercedes is going to come across the line to win the Malaysian Grand Prix for ERL F2. But it did get tense at the end. Like I said, if Calec had one more lap, he would have taken that lead and would have taken that win and closed in 10 seconds on that last lap. And Calec finishes in second.
Comes home in second place, with ZR Mercedes winning the 3rd race in a row, 5th of the season, and now moves very closely, if not in P4. Greenwich Beer crosses the line in P3. Tom Killer is going to cross the line in P4 with Alice Killer in P5, Hasna in P6 and Mitchell P7. That's not going to change. Wow, that was a big mistake by Calec pitting on the last lap. We definitely have a lot of questions for this young man. ZR Mercedes wins the race. I don't think he would have expected that either. But maybe he had a problem, maybe he had an issue with the tyres, we don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Calec looks like he's not very happy with his Jeff. I reckon Calec was told by his Jeff to dive in for dry tyres, and it cost him the win of the race. But as we said, he needed just one more lap. One more lap was all he needed. Was that your call, or was it your Jeff's call, Calec? And can Mitchell please just cross the line and finish the race so we can actually go to the spectator screen? Ah, he's out of fuel. We're going to have to wait for Mitchell to snail his way across the line. Apparently it was Calec's choice to dive in for the dry tyres.
Grimsby's lost his front right tyre. Oh boy. Hello ZR Mercedes. Your winner for today. 5th race win of the season, 3rd in a row.
Pretty much gifted it.
That puts you in P4. Because I have no idea what the standings are looking like.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's my bad. Do you want to fire any more shots at me for not doing the standings, Mike?
Nah, ZR Mercedes definitely in P4. Maybe even in P3.
Alright, we'll update for the last 2 races.
Podium celebrations for the top 3. Calec has joined us.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Hello.
I don't think you're very happy, are you, Calec?
Well, I'm not happy.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Wow, so you're gonna wait for Greenwich Beer to join the party, and then we're gonna unleash the questions we have.
Just a reminder for anybody who is actually watching the stream, if you have any questions for the top 3, please put them in the chat and I will try and get round to asking them. We don't have many viewers, but nice to see some input from you.
I couldn't advance for some reason in the lobby. That's great. We had the option to exit the lobby.
I managed to get out. I don't know who it made lobby host after I disconnected. Haven't got a clue.
Okay, well, I'm very curious about what happened on those last 3 laps, so we're just gonna start the interviews now. So, ZR Mercedes, your 3rd race in a row, you're well and truly on form, and I think you've moved up to P3 in the standings, so are the title hopes still alive with 5 races to go?
Well, I'm definitely going to keep pushing. I think the gap's still too big, to be honest. I think and then I need a couple of DMFs from the people above. But really, I didn't deserve to win that race
Yeah, no.
at all.
Okay, so Caliquest, P2, and P2 still in the standings, but you've lost 7 points this race. Why did you make the call to switch to these slicks on the last 2 laps when you had 7 or 8 seconds to ZR?
I don't know.
He has no explanation for himself.
Going to switch to, that's why I.
Or was it Mitchell going onto the slicks that threw you off a bit?
Maybe.
I mean, fair play, you were very close. You just needed that one extra lap. If you had one more lap, you were taking that lead with no issue. You closed in 10 seconds on that last lap.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfortunate, but you've still got your second place.
Great call.
What?
Yeah, had a bit of trouble there passing Grangebeer. He switched back to quite a bit there, but it was inevitable. To be fair, way more grip. The slicks had on the end, but yeah, it wasn't enough to regain the lead. Interesting battle in the start with Tom Killer there. Pretty tense on the first lap, but you managed to come on top and take the lead for that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet race for you, wasn't it? And then you stretched the softs out until the rain.
Yeah.
Which again, we didn't have no idea was coming.
Left rear was like 85%. I thought it was going to answer, but no.
Yeah, a lot of people had tire issues. Warlock got a puncture on the rear left, but I don't think Grangeby is actually joining us. So, we might end it there, as I don't think anyone's having any questions in the chat.
Hasnain asks whether you had a penalty, not a penalty, a puncture Mercedes. At any point.
No, my tyres were just, I think, about 88%, and then I spun on that last corner. So I had a bit of a tank slap. I lost the rear and sort of spun round. But no, I didn't have a puncture, just no grip.
Alright, I think that was just Hasnain asking out of curiosity, because we know that Warlock got one.
Yeah, very awkward place as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sector 1.
Other than that, I don't think there's any other questions from the stream, so we might as well leave it there.
Okay, so we'll see you next time for the Japanese Grand Prix. We hope it's another banger in F2. So join us then in 1 week's time. Don't forget, on this channel in about an hour's and 10 minutes time, we're gonna have the F1 stream live. So make sure you tune in for that, for the Malaysian F1 GP. So see you then.